Brawlhalla's newest legend, King Zuva, is here. Well, he's out next week, but we have all 6 of his signatures here, so we're gonna go over all of those right now. This is the Hammer Sig. It's a 2-parter and a spiking move that hits at a 45-degree angle, which is a really good angle for Hammer to hit because on the ground it just can't do that. You can see here it's sending off stage once again with one of the skins, the Ancestral Zuva. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit, but first up here we can see this against Imugi, a tank character, and in the orange that's sending pretty far down. Before we move on, just one last little thing here that I want to point out. It seems like this Hammer Sig does not hit on the ground. Slow it all the way down here. We can see that this strike appears to start right there at about a 0.5 to 1 jump height, so it seems like it won't hit on the ground, but of course we're gonna have to test that when he comes out. Next up, we've got this Hammer Side Zig, and this one is real cool. You can see it in 2 separate clips here, although it's on the same map, so maybe it's hard to tell if you're not looking closely, but you can see it's a dodge punish tool potentially that has quite a bit of range. It's a 2-part move where you hit the first hit and then the second hit comes out. Now I don't know if it's a 2-parter as in the second hit only comes out if you connect the first one, or if it does this whole thing the whole time, because the only clips we've been shown are ones where it connects. You can see the art direction is phenomenal, and this is the kind of SIG that maybe could have an active input version, because you can see that Zuva turns around after landing that first blow, so who knows. If I had to guess, I'd say probably not, but from the animation, the door is open.
Also, I'm a little worried because this silhouette looks like Teros and I want clarity in my characters.
And to close out the Hammer, we've got probably my favorite SIG in his entire kit. This is another spike. So not only does he have 2 spiking Hammer SIGs, he has 4 spikes with Hammer, because recovery and ground pound spike as well. This is going to be an amazing anti-edgeguard tool. I'm already feeling it because you can see how gigantic that ground explosion is, then leaping up into the air. Now it's all around you as well. I don't know if it picks up from all around or if it sends opponents to the side and only picks up if you're close to them. I gotta imagine it picks up from all around. This just looks phenomenal. Now something to note here is that all of his SIGs are on the slower side. At least that's what it appears to be, which does fit with his archetype. You saw the stats at the very beginning. This is an 8 strength character. He's a heavy hitter, which makes sense with these SIGs that we've seen so far. Now here, we're just going to see it one more time. Now this is landing on the ground, so it has a ground bounce version, which means it doesn't have a different version when you're hitting it grounded. Although it appears that the angle might set up pretty well for a follow-up. We could see right there, the down SIG went into the end SIG, which then went into a Sair off the map. Once again, having all these spikes in your kit just seems like a whole lot of fun. You can see you're headbutting your opponents down, then leaving them in a position to be dodge red. Potentially, you're also going to be left in the air after using it, which means that maybe you'll want to dodge to the ground if your opponent's on the ground, but it also means that if you're using it off stage, you're getting a good amount of height. So that's pretty good, because then you could toss your hammer down, or you could do a ground pound, and your opponent is going to be left in a pretty bad position. Looks cool. King Zuva's second weapon is the Battle Boots. Now this is interesting because boots are quite a quick weapon. You can see the signatures here are probably going to be a lot faster than the hammer ones. This Sig right here is a big knee, and I am liking this one a lot. If y'all have played Smash, there's a pretty iconic knee. This one's a little bit different, but nonetheless very cool. Loving the art direction once again here. You're sending out that mask alongside your knee, which is quite cool. Now you're going to notice a little animation at the end here. I'm piecing together these clips from the trailer, so bear with me as we go frame by frame here. This is hitting at a pretty good angle. It's at 45 again, which for boots is also not bad at all because you don't have a bow end light in your kit to cover that. It looks super simple, but I think this one's going to be very strong. Sometimes it's those simple SIGs that end up being the most oppressive. And talking about simple, we've got this boot side SIG here. Now this one is actually really fascinating to me because we only saw it one time in a GC. So like, what if this is one of those moves where the longer you charge it, the further that blast ends up getting sent? I don't know. That would be a very interesting little added mechanic, but even if it doesn't, this already just looks great. Like, it looks really strong from the get-go. If we look at the size of this explosion shockwave, it's gonna hit pretty far into the air as well as pretty far underneath you if you choose to GC it. So this just looks like a really straightforward but really good move. And finally, we've got the Boots down sig. This one is kind of like Core's down sig on the gauntlets. I know people have been probably drawing a lot of comparisons to Core just because he's using rocks, he's using stones. This one seems pretty cool. You're sending out a boulder pillar thing in the background. I don't know. It looks like it's sometimes behind the character animations. We can see it behind Zuva right here, and that's gonna send straight up, which is gonna be fantastic on the Boots. You're naring people up, you're recovering people up, then you send this down sig out, and suddenly they're getting knocked out way earlier than they probably otherwise should, because Boots don't necessarily kill the earliest. But this looks like a lot of fun. I think his Boots kit as a whole synergizes really great, because you've got that vertical strike at an angle that you can't cover on the ground. You've got a forward attacking move with a disjoint, which is never a bad thing. And then you've got this vertical KO potential to build on Boots' already existing vertical KO potential. So all in all, looks pretty exciting.